Hey, what's up guys? This video is a sequel to my previous video on building Oauth 2 authorization system for our Angular 2 applications. So in our previous video we saw how to build the Oauth 2 server using Node.js and Oauth 2 authorize npm module. So in this video let's see how to build in this video we'll see how to build an application using Angular 2 and then consume those REST API endpoints created in our previous video. So let's get started guys. First of all, what I will do is make a directory secure front and then scaffold out a new application Oauth 2 front. Okay, let this get done. Okay, this is done. So now new Angular 2 RC4 app is created, right? So let's Angular RC5 has been released, and so let's update our app to that particular version. So I'll just open up my project in VS Code editor. Okay, there it is. So I'll open up package.json, and then wherever it is RC4, I'll just convert it to RC5. Forms has a new version, that is 3.0, and this is RC5. This too is RC5. This is again RC5, and it's no more beta, it's actually RC1 now. Router is, and yeah, that's it guys. And if you are using the CLI version of Angular CLI that supports Webpack, you need to remove this obviously, so that your project will run without fail. And then you give npm install again. So let this happen. Oh, sorry. So I should open this up, right? Okay, let this happen. Okay, now this is done as well. So let's go ahead and convert our app into a RC5 app. The basic the breaking change in RC5 apps is that the concept of NgModules was introduced. NgModules is like more of writing different pieces of functionality separately and then bootstrapping them to run as one in your application, guys. I know it sounds similar to component based architecture which we are already for, but let me show you guys so that you guys will get a better understanding. So I'll create a new file and name it as app.module.ts. okay, and then inside this I'll write import from @angular/core, and then inside this I'll write NgModule, and then each and every thing will have its own. For example, platform, browser, this will have the browser module, and then what else, platform, right? This is platform, and then HTTP will have HTTP module, and then what else is there, forms will be inside forms, and then one more what is router module, this will be inside router obviously. So one more thing is we'll import our usual app component from /app.component. okay, this is done. So here we'll have a decorator NgModule, and then inside this we'll have four things, that is the declarations. First, declarations, here we just have one app component, right? App component, and then what else is there? Imports is there. Imports, browser module, HTTP module, router module, and forms module. Okay, all these are done. And then providers as of now we don't have anything that is a provider, right? So then what else is there? Bootstrap. Here we'll bootstrap our app component. Okay, this is done. So we just have to export this module and then use our main.ts file. Okay, let me show you. Okay, and this we'll save it, and in main.ts we'll make a complete overhaul of the existing code. Here we no longer need this, right? Instead of this we have a thing called platform browser dynamic, and enable production mode. We'll remove this as of now, and then this app component environment, here we'll remove this as well. Okay, this we will completely remove, and then instead of this line we will add platform browser dynamic dot bootstrap module app module. Oh, sorry guys, this will be, now that we are including app component in our app module, this will be app module, right? App module / app dot module. Okay, this is how we'll rewrite the main.ts file to change our application from RC4 to RC5. Let's see if this works first. Yeah, app works fine. So this is how you convert Angular RC4 app into Angular RC5, guys, and make it run. Okay, let's just go ahead with our application build now. First of all, I'll divide this into two parts, guys. The first one will be the I told you, right, in Oauth 2 flow, what we'll do is first we'll register our application as a client in their developer portal. For example, developer.twitter.com. We'll go there and register our app as a client, and they will give us a app ID and a secret. Then we can use that app ID and the secret inside our while coding our client application. So there are two parts involved. One is registering the client, and another is using that app ID and the secret in our application. So in order to register the client, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll show you both, guys. Maybe I'll show you both of it. So first thing we'll do is, let us assume, or we'll just create a login thing first. We'll do all of this quickly, guys, so that this video is much shorter. So ng generate component login. This one will generate, and we'll generate one more for ng generate component dashboard. Okay, two things we are generating, and then quickly we'll just go ahead and create a roots.ts file, and then add roots in this roots.ts file. So to add routing is somewhat similar to the one. If you hadn't seen my old how using the new router video, kindly go ahead and watch it once, guys. It's pretty much similar to that, except that wherever we used the router config, we will now use the router module. I'll show you. Okay, we'll just create the routes here, right? So you can very well understand it from that. Angular/router, and in this two components we created, right? Login component from login/login.component. This will be there, and then okay, I have a very broken keyboard which I'm somehow managing. Dashboard, and then this will in turn take dashboard. Okay, we use these two, and we'll create roots for these to export const app roots. This will be of type roots equal to array. It will have path, and then path comma component will be login component if it's blank, and then one more we'll just copy this path. Again it's login component, but this time it will be login, and then one more. This time here I'll give as a dashboard component, and this will be dashboard. Okay, now we have two routes, and then I'll export these. Export const app router equal to router module dot for route, and we'll use the app routes. Okay, we have just written a couple of routes for login and dashboard, and then we are exporting this here. This can be added here, like import what was that, app router, right? App router from /routes. Okay, and then here you just add that app router. Okay, we won't be doing in-depth authentication system, guys, because I've already done a video on how to do authentication using the new router. So this router doesn't have much difference with that router, previous router, I believe. I mean, as far as I have used, I am just using it like this, that one, the previous beta, sorry, not beta, alpha 8, I guess, that version. So let's just proceed on with what we intended to do, that is building a small system for a person to come and register his application and then get back an app ID and a secret. That's what we are going to do. So let's just go ahead and open up login, and then inside login component HTML, what I'll do is quickly create a couple of fields. Sorry, input NgModule equal to user dot username, and then one more thing like this, but this will be type equal to password, and then this will be user dot password. Okay, and then I'll have a button click equal to login user, and okay, I'll save this and then go back to login.component.ts, and inside this I'll first create that user, guys. Okay, this is done. Now I'll create a method called login, and then this will take in the user creds, and then let user login equal to this dot auth we don't have, right? Import auth service from /auth.service, and then we go here, ng-generate service auth. Okay, and then this dot auth dot login user creds, we'll pass this. Go to auth.service.ts, and then here what we'll do is we'll make the HTTP call, HTTP from @angular/HTTP. Okay, then what else this will contain is this will contain is authenticator. No, we'll go ahead and create the login first. Login user creds. I believe we already have code for this, guys, here in our Angular 2 new authentication. We'll go to source and then check in auth.service.ts. Yeah, we'll make use of this exact code since it will pretty much resemble this. So I'll copy this. Paste it here, and then fix the errors. Private HTTP. What else? Headers, heading import. So I'll go here and then headers. What else is authenticated is not there, so is authenticated boolean. This will be false, right? Okay, all the errors are fixed now. So what else we need to do? We'll not store the auth key anywhere. Instead of that, instead of this, what we'll do is we'll have another thing called user ID. Okay, and user ID, and then here what we'll do is we'll this dot user ID equal to data.json dot user ID. Since in the client we will be requiring this user ID, guys, so we are storing this here as we are storing this upon success, and that's all we need to do here, guys. So now we have created a login interface, right? Upon successful login, the user must be redirected towards just a minute. User must be redirected to the dashboard page, right? Not HTTP. This will be auth, and this will be auth service, right? Okay, this is done. So oh, what's the error here? Cannot find module auth. Okay, this is because you need to come out, right? And then import router from rectangular /router, and then create another instance for router here, router, and then make use of that user login dot then response. Sorry, here what we'll do is if response.json.success, then this dot router dot navigate to what was that, dashboard. Okay, so we have code that will enable us to log in, and then if the login is successful, it will redirect us to the dashboard. So let us go ahead and see if this works fine, whatever we have written till now. I had the code which we wrote last week, right? I forgot which directory. To experiments, I think experiments, and inside this Authentication 8.8.0. Yes, obviously it won't run because I haven't started my DB. Okay, it's connected. Let's see if everything is fine. We should have interface which allows us to log in successfully, right? Let's see what happens. Oh, why does it show? Okay, we didn't give any. Okay, we didn't. There is no provider for auth service. We'll go back to app.module.ts and then import auth service from ./auth.service, and then save this, and inside providers we'll add auth service. Okay, let's see now if the error vanishes. Still there is an error. Oh no, it vanished. and then I typed Raja and my password here, and I'll click login. Restore.json is not a function. Where have I used restore? Okay, so the response will be success or true, right? So I can directly use this as a condition. I'll just click on login and it takes me to the dashboard because login is successful. If you check with the backend, see, you can see authenticate 200, right? So login is successful, and we have an interface which enables us to log in when given the correct username and password. Now let's make an interface that will allow us to add a client to the DB. So we'll go back here, and then we have the dashboard here, no problem. We'll open this up, do the same as we did in what was that, the thing, right? Login page. So like that, we'll add 2 more fields here, and then make sure that wait, I'll just, rather than me talking once again, we'll just get the app name from the user, guys, and placeholder will be app name. Okay, and NgModule will be name. Okay, and we'll have a button which upon clicking will allow us to add client, and we'll pass in the name, and then add a client button. Okay, we'll have 2 more stuff that will say your client is added, and then we need to show the we'll do this later, guys. If the call is successful only, if the client is added successfully only, those things should show, right? We'll write code to add a client first and then think about that one. So I'll come here, and then I used a variable called name, right? So name, and then I will obviously need app ID, and then what else? I'll need app secret. Okay, these 2 are there. Now I'll write add client app name. This thing too I'll write inside the service. So service. For this you need to create a separate service, guys, if you are writing this in a production environment. Since it's a demo purpose as of now, I'm just using that same service, auth service, which I used there. If it's a real world application, you need to write a separate service for these manipulations and have the authentication service separately, guys. So next thing we'll write here is let new client equal to this .auth add client app name. Okay, this will be private auth service. Save it again, and then inside auth service, what I'll do is add code for adding the client. So the code will be pretty much simple, I guess. It's another method, right? Add client, new client, it will be the name obviously, and then I have 2 functions here for generating random strings, so I'll copy this and add them here as well. Then I can make use of this for generating the app ID and secret, right? That's the reason why I'm using this. So let app ID equal to this dot random string dot, no, I'll need to pass in the length, that's all. I'll use 10 here, guys. So, and the same thing I'll use for secret as well. App secret as well. Okay, now I have the app ID and the secret. Next thing what I'll do is I'll create a set of headers, new headers, and then I'll make this into a URL format, name equal to plus this will be the name, and then version ID equal to this app ID, and then version secret equal to plus app secret, and then one more thing is user ID equal to, sorry, there's no space here, this dot user ID. Okay, this is done. So next thing we'll do is headers dot append content type, and then this will be application x www URL code. Okay, we have created the header as well, right? So now what we need to do is we need we'll just copy this entire thing and use it here as well. We just need to change the URL, right? Instead of authenticate, it will be clients, and instead of creds, it will be client, and instead of this, we'll remove this data.json.success. We'll send back the data. Okay, now what's the error? No, I think I need to close here. Yeah, that's it. So now I have code for adding a new client as well. Since we are using the user ID here in our URL, I think there is no need for authenticating while, checking for authentication while adding a client, right? Since there is user ID used in the URL, and the user ID would be there obviously only if the person has authenticated. So I think this won't be necessary. Okay, let's see now whether our client gets added. Okay, this is successful, and then we didn't add code for this one, right? We'll go back to dashboard component, and then here we just left it like this, right? So new client dot then we'll be receiving the response. So we should assign this response to like this dot app ID equal to res.json dot data dot id, and we'll do this again for secret as well. Secret here it will be app secret, right? App secret, and we'll, that time I said, right, for that also we'll write code now. Show id is boolean. So not this false. Okay, now we'll import NgZone as well. So NgZone, and NgZone will take in we need to this dot zone dot, okay, just a minute. And this dot zone dot run, this will be this dot show id is equal to true. So we need to show the IDs there based on whether that is true or false, right? So I'll come here and then div ng if equal to show IDs, and then in between I'll just h1 your client is added, and then h3 your app ID is app ID, 3. We'll have a button that when clicked will take us back to the dashboard, because once we receive the client ID and the secret, there is no use of staying in the adding client page, right? So we can enter and close this in div as well, and then show this only when div ng2 not show IDs. This will be shown only when the show IDs are false, that is before the successful call has been made. So okay, this is done, and this is done as well. We just need to have a go back button. Go back. Navigate dashboard. Save this. Let's see if all of this works fine now, guys. So I'll go here. So backend is running as per the front end is also running. So let's go ahead and open up our, oh, it's here. Okay, so we'll go back first. Log in, and then straight ahead it comes to this dashboard page which shows thing and add client, right? So technically we shouldn't have, dashboard page should just have a button that will redirect us to this add client page, right? Anyway, let's just go ahead and see if we could add a client first, and then we'll think about all of this. So client, wow, your client is added, the app ID and the secret is there. So if we go and check the backend, wow, the client is added, guys. So now we have successfully seen how to create a developer portal like environment and then enable the user to add a client. We'll just copy this ID and secret so that we could use in our later part of our application. Okay, this is one part of our video, guys, that is creating I didn't think that the changing from RC4 to RC5 will take that much time, guys. That's why this was this much lengthy. So now we have completed a part of our video, that is making a developer portal that allows user to log in and then register a client on our developer portal. Now the user has got a app ID and a secret which he can make use of to get a bearer token, which he can exchange for an access token in order to authorize our protected resources. So if the video is too long in post-production, I'll cut here and then make a new video, release it as another part 3, for the later part of it as part 3.